every single one of us has excuses, obviously, and like you said, they're often based on fear. But the best way for you to overcome fear is actually to. Well, I don't search for happiness. Happiness is an illusion, and anybody who's searching for happiness is going to end up always being. The whole purpose of life is to.
Welcome to a new episode of Business Meets Life, and today we're traveling again. I'm taking you guys to amazing Australia. We're meeting Shani Taylor. It's been 1 year. I heard Shani speak on stage in Australia, and actually just last year in November, I remember out of the 5-day event, suddenly there was this stunning woman in this beautiful white suit on stage. Being the MC for a business conference. There were 1,500 entrepreneurs from 80 different countries in the room, and Shani was on stage. She wowed me. But before I tell you, she is a soon multi-million dollar coach, currently a $1 million coach. She made it in 2 years to a 7-figure business. But just 2 days ago, I read one of her social media posts, and I was like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. Let me quickly read this out loud. Shani was basically sharing with us, as a so-called privileged woman living in Australia, I've experienced my father threatening to kill my mother when she was pregnant if she didn't abort me because he was already married and didn't want his family to find out. Born into Sydney's suburb with the highest rate of homicide still 40 years later. Grew up without that father and any financial support from him. Raised in a turbulent home where physical abuse was a daily experience. At 16 years old, kicked out of home and left living on the streets and sleeping under a bridge. Didn't finish school, had to drop out in year 10. Became an intravenous drug addict and was putting needles in my arm until I was 22 years old. Single mom at 23. At 27, held in a house for 2 days and raped repeatedly by a family member. Almost died. Left with PTSD so bad I wouldn't leave the house. And from there, I crawled my way back from the depths of a living hell to become the woman I am today and have what I have. I have rehabilitated myself, put myself through 2 university degrees as a mature age student. Worked on myself to think differently and become powerful. Started and grown a global business, raised an incredible child to become a centered and grounded man, and do it all without any family or financial support. Shani, thank you so much for making time. It's super early in the morning. How are you today?
I'm amazing. How are you?
Good, thank you. Oh my gosh, what a woman. So tell us a little bit. I mean, like, everybody is dreaming of becoming a millionaire and so on. But what actually was the trigger for you to make that change, to attend university, stop being a drug addict, and so on? Was it like a rapid awakening, enlightenment, or a slow transformation?
I think all transformations are slow transformations. I think that, there's this common saying, which is every overnight success took 10 years to get there. And I think we see highlight reels, especially now with the rise of social media. Certainly when I was growing up, kind of 10, 11, 12, there was no such thing as social media. So, but we would see glitz and glam in, the TV programs that we would watch. And now it's social media where there's this dream of sitting on a beach with sand in our toes, opening up our laptop, checking our bank balance from some passive investments that we allegedly have, sipping a cocktail and living the good life. And the truth is that is not the truth. And the people that go into business because they want more freedom, they want more time, they want more money. They're going into business based on a fantasy. Because you know as well, Janine, that when you go into business, you work more hours than you've ever worked. You have to invest money into a business. It's not about the business giving you something. It's about what can you give it. And, I definitely know that as a child, I would watch all of these TV shows, American TV shows, and everybody was living the glitz and the glam. And I was like, one day I want to be a millionaire because that's what I saw on TV. But the reality is very, very different to what we see even now on social media.
Absolutely. And we have my cat coming in now here.
I see that.
You're a cat mom of two, actually, so you would know how it is, right? They're watching you right now, I guess.
I love the cats. I'm here for the cats. I love them.
Love it. Thank you for sharing this. So, if you had to start all over from zero today, with all the knowledge you have now, what's the first thing that you would do to achieve the same goal and where you are today?
Exactly what I did 5 and a bit years ago when I started my business, which is you have to focus on selling. And, I had this conversation yesterday. Every Monday on my Facebook profile, I do a free live. It goes for about 20 minutes and I teach on a topic. And I've done it now for 2.5 years. Every Monday, Sydney time, I show up without fail. And yesterday was that live. And I was talking about people need to know what business they're in, and people don't realize what business they're actually in. So, people will say, I'm a relationship coach, I'm a farmer, I'm a restaurateur, I'm a psychologist, I'm a therapist, I'm a hairdresser. And that is your secondary business. If you are the owner of a business or you're trying to start, grow, and scale a business, your number one job description for the entirety of your business is to make sales in that business. No business, no sales, no business, right? And if I had to start again, if I lost everything, I know that it would come back very quickly, because the thing that I did when I started my business, all I focused on was having conversations and making offers. And it is so incredible. So many people turn up and they say to me, I haven't made a sale in 3 months. And I'm like, when was the last time you had a conversation, or when was the last time you actually put an offer out? And they go, oh, and I'm like, everybody's waiting for the consumer to come to them. Nobody is coming to you. You don't have a goddamn brand. You have to go out to the people. So what would I do? I would go out. I would make offers and I would have conversations. That's how we're going to get there.
That actually sounds so simple. Making offers, going out there, having conversations. This is one part of your success on how you made your 7-figure business now, right? And I know also that you hate it when people make excuses. We all have our fears. What techniques do you use that you actually make sure that these excuses or these fears are not like keeping you stuck and you continuously keep moving forward?
Yeah, so every single one of us has excuses, obviously, and like you said, they're often based on fear. But the best way for you to overcome fear is actually to do the thing that you're fearing. You don't become unscared by sitting there thinking about it. You don't become unscared by watching other people do it. You become unscared, and fearless is not the absence of fear. It's being able to take the action through the fear. So, because then what you do when you take the action, you train your system and your subconscious to know that it's safe to do the thing. So let's use the example of having conversations. Amazingly, everybody goes into business and then they don't actually want to have conversations with people. They don't want to sell. They don't want to speak to people. They want people to come to them. They're scared of being salesy. They're scared of reaching out to strangers, because when we grew up, we were told don't talk to strangers. Strangers are scary. Strangers are bad, right? Now, newsflash, every single customer that you ever have had and ever will have was a stranger before they were a customer. So the people that have the greatest success are the people that actually can get over their stranger danger fear and go and speak to the goddamn strangers, because then you retrain your brain to go, strangers are safe, right? But the other thing as well is we have to remember that 97% of the strangers that you go and talk to today are not going to buy from you. It is a numbers game, right? But so to answer that question, you get unscared by doing the thing. It's kind of like I have a fear of heights. And so what I did was I've now skydived twice and I'm doing it again at the end of this year. But that once you're in the experience, you're not worried about the fear of it, you're experiencing it. So I think we have to stop sitting on the sidelines and just go do the damn thing.
Wow, amazing. And I think we're already talking about some like mindset shifts and beliefs. Is there like another belief or so that you had to unlearn in order to reach the level that you're at today?
I think it's just really important to have mentorship because, when we talk about beliefs, right, like the purpose of mentorship is to help you with your blind spots, whether it's in your business, whether it's in your mindset, whether it's in the actions that you're taking. And they're called blind spots for a reason. You can't see them. If you could see them, they would be called vision spots,
Right.
right? And so everybody like turns up and thinks that they can solve their own problems and, oh, I don't need help. And it's like, or people think if they have coaching that there's something wrong with them. No, Vince Vaughn said to me that coaching is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of greatness. And all great people not just have one mentor, have multiple mentors for the things that they want to work on. And Vince even said that for every role he has ever played in the movies that he has done, whatever he had to be in that particular role, whether it was an office worker, working at Google, at the internship movie, all of the when he was in the movie with Jennifer Aniston, and he was doing the driving of the bus and all of that sort of stuff. He goes and gets coached for each of those job titles by
Wow.
somebody in that job, right? So we need to, I don't know what my mindset issues are because they're a way of being for me. I need a mentor that's going to mirror back to me where my blind spots are.
Yes. I mean, I've seen like you've met some incredible people from Vince Vaughn to Elizabeth Hurley, um, to Jillian Michaels that you've interviewed, the Reebok founder, Joey Foster. That's impressive. I can definitely see how you are investing and flying all around the world to invest in mentorship, invest in coaching, because I think I mean, you're even an award-winning coach, right? Most important is as a coach, always ask, does your coach actually have a coach? And I can definitely see you have many of those.
Yeah, if your coach doesn't have a coach, get a new coach. That's number one. And then, yeah, look, you really do raise to the frequency of the people that you surround yourself with. And, I came from low socioeconomic crime. That was the environment. So
Yeah.
in order for me to be able to change, I had to be with people that where I did, and I do feel uncomfortable. Like, we had Mark Boris come and speak in my community last week. And for the non-Aussies listening, Mark Boris is business royalty in Australia. And he's a big deal. And, it feels uncomfortable to have those types of people as my connections and my relationships, but that's the point. So you actually need to stop hanging out with people that you feel comfortable with, and you need to go and put yourself in spaces where you think you don't belong until you know that you belong.
Well said. Until you know that you belong and you become like the average of the 5 or 12 people that you surround yourself with, right?
Exactly.
Now, you are a mom, a cat mom, as well as a human mom, right? So,
Yeah.
how has being a mom actually influenced your approach towards leadership and business? Because they often say that it's not just like you parenting your children and teaching them, but they also like teach you a lot.
Yeah, I think having my son was like, without a doubt, one of the best things I've ever done in my life. And obviously, well, not all parents, but my parents didn't say that, but most parents will say like it's one of the best things that they've done, but um, he really has been such a huge catalyst for change for me, wanting to be a better person and, making sure that I didn't give him the same life that I had. And so therefore I've had to work really hard to do that. And what's really interesting, you talk about leadership. Um, there's this saying which is monkey see, monkey do, meaning
Mm,
that whether it's your staff, whether it's your clients, or whether it's your children, people don't do what you say, they do what you do. And, it's so interesting. A lot of the time, parents, mothers will feel really guilty about investing their time into working on their business.
yeah.
And they get worried or they have guilt that it's taking away from them being a great mum. And it actually couldn't be any further from the truth because my son now, he turns 18 next week.
Wow,
And
congratulations.
thank you. And I've never been the type of parent that sits on the floor and colors in or plays games. That's not been the type of mum that I am. But I have been the type of mum that works and demonstrates through my actions what it takes to follow a purpose, to live fulfilled, to work on yourself, to create impact, to create income. And my son is now 18. He has been working full time since he was 12. He's also a DJ. He also has his own business, walking dogs for all of the people in our suburb.
Wow.
You know, this kid goes to bed at 9 o'clock at night. He's up at 5 in the morning, and this is an 18-year-old, and he's been doing this since he was 12. So, it was really beautiful. We had a moment a couple of weeks ago. I'm privileged enough that I live in a home with a view of the Sydney Harbour Bridge,
Yes.
and he was sitting here eating his breakfast, and he was looking out the window, and I said to him, "We're so lucky, aren't we?" And he said, "We're not lucky, Mum. You worked for it."
Wow.
And so for any parent listening who may be having a bit of the mum guilt or the dad guilt, I cannot stress enough that your children don't necessarily need what you think that they need. They're going to follow what you do more than what you say.
Hmm. This is so powerful. We're not lucky, Mom. You've worked for it. Wow. Thank you for sharing this. You just shared on what basically being a mom, on how it has influenced you towards your leadership and your business. I'm wondering what kind of lessons beyond this has your son actually taught you that you can now apply in your coaching, in your speaking?
I think he teaches me the lesson of humility. I think he just because of the type of person that he is, because he's so emotionally intelligent. And so he will often reflect back to me sometimes the things that I need to remember, about being humble in this world. So I think children are a great way to humble you because they know you so intimately. Like, he's been the person that's lived with me for the last 18 years. He sees all parts of me, good, bad, ugly, indifferent. And whenever you're getting a bit cocky, they'll smash you down, and whenever you're down, they'll bring you back up. So I think children are a great vehicle for humility.
Wow. Amazing. Now let's talk about your cat. So, if your cats could talk, Shani, what do you think they would say when it comes to, for example, your work ethic or anything else?
I tell you, these cats get like free coaching all day long because they're in the house listening. Um, Speaking of the cats and my son has said a few times recently as well, and I tend to agree. I'm like, these cats must have done something really special in their past life because so both of these cats are street cats.
Mm-hmm.
Um, One of them, the ginger cat, we are his third owner. He went through multiple homes, like up until he was kind of 8 weeks old. And, he'd come from, shelters and stuff like that. And now here he is living, literally sits on a perch. He's on a perch right now with a view of the Sydney Harbour Bridge, wants for nothing. The black cat was born in a roof. he was part of a stray litter of cats. And
Mm.
now here he is, walking around this Sydney suburb with an amazing view, and they don't have to do anything for it. All they have to do is exist. So, whereas I sit here and work so that they can enjoy the view. So I think the cats are exceptional masters of getting exactly what they want. And I think we can learn a lot from cats.
And they say exactly the same as your cat. No, mom, we're not lucky. You worked for it. Thank you.
Exactly.
Yes. Now, what does happiness actually mean to you? Because we all see you're extremely successful, but has actually your definition of happiness changed compared to when you have started your journey and like back in the days?
Well, I don't search for happiness. Happiness is an illusion, and anybody who's searching for happiness is going to end up always being very depressed because happiness doesn't exist. The whole purpose of life is to experience challenges because you change in the challenge. And the people that seek happiness are constantly let down because the reality of life is that you are going to be challenged every single day. Life is not easy, business is not easy. And the more that we search for happiness, the more that we run into depression, chaos, conflict, and we don't know how to deal with it. So I'm not searching for happiness. What I'm searching for is making sure that I show up every day and have I done my best and given it my all and made sure that I'm making an impact on the lives of, first of all, myself, because we have to put the face mask on ourselves before we can help others.
Yeah.
And then second, am I doing whatever it takes to help my clients and the people in my life? So for
Mm-hmm.
me, it's about purpose more than it is about happiness.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. What's that one thing that you actually just do out of pure joy for yourself, like where there's no agenda or a business motive attached?
I mean, this sounds really boring, but I just love to have an acai bowl at the end of the day. And, it feels like such a little treat to have an acai bowl with some pistachio sauce and some banana. That's my little thing.
That's beautiful. Now, you have been speaking and sharing stages all around the world. I mean, recently you've just been to South Africa again, to the UK. You're giving speeches all over Australia. You've spoken in Canada, in the USA. I don't know if I've forgotten any other important stages and countries, but you are in so many different countries now. Feel free to come to China soon as well if you like. What is like something that nobody really knows about you? Because I love that you're so authentic. I love that you are strong and such a role model for a lot of women. That's why I asked you to come and be here with us, because it's very rare to have supportive, authentic women. A lot of women, especially if they're successful, they are very competitive and stabbing you in your back. Now, is there something that a lot of people actually do not know about you that you feel comfortable sharing with us?
So I wouldn't say that people don't know me about this, but I would say most people don't know this about me because most people, so my clients and my friends and my mentors, they know this about me because they've taken the time to see it. But then, as with social media, people project all of their crap onto you, and they only see what they want to see. And so I think there's a misconception more broadly that strong women must be masculine.
Mhm.
And I definitely get put into that category all the time
Yeah,
because for whatever reason we equate powerful women as being masculine women. And that's I am masculine and I'm also feminine. And I think it's about having a look at how do people demonstrate both sides. So um I have a very big heart. I'm very emotional. I do share. I do get real with my clients in sessions. I do cry. I do share my heart. And also part of being feminine, Janine, is actually about receiving.
yeah,
And so even though I'm powerful in my energy, When I have a look at what happens in my business, I have a lot of masculine energy that shows up and gives me things that I receive, such as opportunities, such as, powerful masculine men in the business world, that show up as mentors for me, and I receive that. I have men as my clients who also naturally want to look after me and care for me and protect me. So, I think the thing that most people disregard because they just see a woman in a suit and they think she's powerful is that they don't realize that I'm also very soft and also very feminine.
Beautiful. We're slowly coming to an end. If you could go back and give your younger self, Shani, a single sentence of advice, what would it be?
You're going to make it.
Mm. And as we're now closing, we have listeners from all around the world, from Asia, from, yes, Australia, from the Western world, Europe, North America, and so on, from students to entrepreneurs to decision makers. What are the last tips or like the last words that you would like to give to our audience?
I just feel called to share that you've got to use the naysayers as your fuel, not the things that freeze you. So you're going to get told you can't, you're going to get told that there's something wrong with you, you're going to get told don't speak that way, don't look that way, don't talk that way, don't go into business that way, don't sell that way. And you need to keep remembering that for people to be criticizing you, it's because they're below you. Because people who are doing more than you, they don't have time to judge you. They actually want to see you win. It's the people that are intimidated by who you're being that are trying to pull you down, and use that as fuel to fight even harder for your dreams.
Wow, so powerful. Guys, sharing is caring. If you love today's session with Shani Taylor, please start following her and share this link to your friends and colleagues all around the world. Shani, I know you're super busy. Thank you so much for making time. And I look forward to seeing you again, either soon in Bali or anywhere else.
Thanks, Janine. Thanks for having me.